The needle wall test is a really good test for measuring our ankle flexibility, but it's a really good indicator for potential injury. So it's one that I'd really like everyone to keep an eye on a week-to-week basis. What we do is we find a wall, we get our a ruler or a tape measure out, we line it up against the wall into there. We then get our leg and we basically put our foot at a position where the heel stays nice and flat and in contact with the ground, and we bring our knee to touch the wall. If the knee can touch the wall easy, we move it back a bit, make sure our foot stays nice and straight and parallel to the ruler. Come into there, just so we can just touch without that heel coming up. Into there, and then we record the score at the front of the big toe into there. We keep an eye on that score for the whole season, and we see if that changes as we go along. Then we do the other side. Measuring our shoulder rotation is really good for those who have to throw or bowl a lot. It can be a bit of a sign if an injury is about to occur. What we want to do is find a wall, preferably if we've got some markers somewhere, and a wall that we can mark a little bit. We're going to get our elbow at about shoulder height, bent to 90 degrees into that position into there. What we're going to test first is keeping the elbow and the shoulder in place. We're going to rotate forward as far as we can, and we're going to put a little mark on the wall there. And then we're going to come back up to there, and then we're going to come all the way backwards, and again, place a little mark on the inside of our wrist into there, onto the wall. After we've done that, we're going to find the mark where our elbow was. The measure down here is your internal rotation. The measure from there up to there is your external rotation. Do that for both sides and measure this one every week as well. The calf raise, we're testing the strength of the muscles in our calf. Basically what we're looking to do is see how many single leg calf raises we can do before we get too tired. The key is to make sure we do them properly though. So we're going to make sure that we're supported on a bench or something like that where we can just use our hands for balance, not for gripping in really tight. So just hold on to there. We're going to start with my left leg. So onto your left leg, just holding onto this here for balance. We're going to keep our knee relatively straight and our hips straight. We're going to lift all the way up onto our big toe and back down. Each of these reps is to take about a second, so up as high as you can and back down. And we count those until we get tired or we start trying to use our hands too much or bending our knees or hips. Or we can stop when we get to 25, then we swap over and do the other side. The single leg long lever bridge is a way of testing the strength of our hamstrings, which are the muscles in behind the thigh there. So what we want to do is find a small bench. We want to be able to get one of our legs, so our heel is up on the bench there like that. On the other side, hands across the chest here, we're going to lift our right leg up, and we're going to lift up as high as we can, and then back down. So we're digging in through the heel to lift up, as high as we can, and then back down. And we're going to see how many of these we can do. You stop if you can't get up as high, or we get to 30. Then we swap over and do the other side. The single leg bent knee bridge is designed to test the strength and endurance of our backside muscles, which are really important for our strength, power and stability. So what we do is we set ourselves up, get our legs, so ankle in line, knee up into there like that. We're going to lift our arm into here, bring our knee up. Don't mind if you hold on to the knee, that might make it a bit easier. And then from here, we're going to lift up and we're going to hold. So we simply hold up into here like this. And we're going to see how long we can hold that for. We have to stop if our backside or arms touch the floor, or we get really sore, or it gets to 2 minutes. After the 2 minutes, swap over and do the other side. The side plank hold is a great test to assess how strong we are through our side trunk muscles and through the outside of our hip. So what we do is we lay on a flat surface, we support ourselves through our elbow and forearm, through our ankle into there as well. Stay nice and straight, or hands on hips into here like this. We lift ourselves up and we're holding. So from this position here, we're going to see how long we can hold for. We fail if our hips or other arm hit the floor. Or we get to 80 seconds. If you can get to the 80 seconds, then you stop and pop over and do the other side. The plank is a great test for assessing how strong we are through the front of our trunk muscles. And what we do for that is we lay on our stomach, pop out onto our forearms and onto our toes, and we basically lift up into this position here. We don't want to be up too high like this. We want to stay relatively low and hold into this position here. We fail if our hips or legs hit the floor. But happy to stop that if you get yourself to 2 minutes, and then we go from there. Write that one down. The abdominal leg hold is another great test for our trunk and our tummy muscles. What we do is we get our bench or chair or something like this. We pop our heels there and we lay flat onto our back. Basically, we want to make sure our knees are further down from our hips, arms across chest, and then we're lifting our feet up off the floor like this, and we're seeing how long we can hold that for. You fail if your legs hit the bench again, and we can stop when we get to a minute. We're going to test your single leg closed eye balance. So what we're going to do here is make sure we're set up in a nice safe place. We're going to hold on to something for a little bit of support to begin with. We're going to get ourselves onto the leg we're going to test. So here, testing my left leg, and I'll pop my hand onto my hip there for support. When I'm feeling okay, I'm going to remove the support from the other hand there, and then I'm going to close my eyes. Once we close our eyes, that's when we start testing. And we're basically counting your time before you have to move or have to grab onto some support. Happy for you to give up when you get to 30 seconds. You can have 2 or 3 goes at that one before you get it right, because it can take a little while to get the practice there. Then swap over and do the other side.